Hey guys, what's up? This is an On the Move vlog. So today something really exciting is happening. I am going to a reading and signing of one of my favorite authors. I'm sure you know him well, internet. John Green! Woo-hoo! He's doing a reading and a signing today at a brand new bookstore that opened today in a city about an hour away from where I live. Let's get started! Woo! A little rant on the way. I just passed a cop who had pulled someone over. And I don't know about you, but it is one of my biggest pet peeves when people feel like they need to slow down when they drive past a cop who's pulled someone over. Get in the left lane, sure, but they already pulled someone over. They're not going to pull you over because you're driving over the speed limit when you pass them. Another pet peeve, semis in the left lane. So I haven't driven in this city much myself, and so I get very nervous when the road turns into 3 lanes, because I know that probably means that it's going to turn into a turn lane. One of those lanes is going to turn into a turn lane soon, and I have the kind of luck that it would be my lane, and the other lanes would be too busy, and I wouldn't be able to merge, and then I'd have to turn, and then I'd get lost, and oh, getting lost is one of my biggest fears.
Just after I said that, of course it happened. But I made it to the bookstore safely and without mishap. It was very cool, in the design sense, not temperature, and it was warm in more ways than one.
Is that a Jane hat? Like from Firefly? The little girl is so cool.
Let's give a huge round of applause to everyone's favorite author, John Green.
When John came out, I, like many others, immediately pulled out my phone to record his speech. But during the talk, he said something that almost made me want to stop filming.
It's a very strange thing, if you think about it, that we would use text, even in 2012, that we would use text as a way of trying to communicate ideas to each other when we have, video blogs, and we have in-person communication, and we have all these ways of mediating experience that I'm staring out at right now. And all these ways of talking to each other that don't involve text.
This was said in reference to books being active entertainment instead of passive, and being a co-creator in our own entertainment and art. But it made me pause and think about what I was doing in the moment as well. So many times throughout his talk, my brain told me to put my camera down and just soak it in, to not worry about whether or not I would remember every detail, to put away the media and just participate in this communal human experience. But there was just so much good in what he was saying that I couldn't make myself do it. He also said something that I very much relate to, and am relieved to find that I'm not the only person who feels this way, and that it doesn't mean that I don't really want the things I say I want.
You'll meet a lot of people who are starved for your art, do whatever it takes. I don't, that seems quite scary to me. I'm a very anxious person, so I take a lot more solace from the idea of that I can make art and work at other stuff.
It was surreal, to say the least. I had never even met a nerd fighter before, and now here I was in a room full of them. I wish I had thought to get a little video of the teenage girls next to me, who were shaking and giggling because John had signed their stuffed squid. As I looked around this hot bookstore, I was overwhelmed by the love and respect, and I found myself wiping tears from my cheeks. All of us here just as excited to meet this writer as some would have been to meet a rock star, and I knew all was not lost. There is bright hope for the future, eager minds who still want to think and learn and write and create art. Listening to this man who is so talented and speaks so eloquently and passionately and intelligently makes me feel somewhat dwarfed, and right now I am very aware of my own deficiencies and lack of success. But I'm also inspired. One of many things he said that spoke so deeply to me was this.
just keep writing. Don't get mad at yourself when you don't finish something. Maybe that's because you're not supposed to finish it. The hardest thing with writing for me is not hating myself. I tend to hate my writing, and it tends to make me hate myself. Like, I have to be able to separate myself from my writing enough to say, like, this writing sucks, but that doesn't mean that I'm an evil person. And so that's another thing that I try really hard to do, like really actively every day tell myself, like, you're not a bad person, this is just a bad story.
Even amidst a crowd of people who were 10 years or more younger than me, this inspired me and gave me fire to continue. You are not a bad person, this is just a bad story, will become the mantra of my writing life, as well as the rest of my life. Just because I haven't finished a writing project or written enough songs to make a career, it doesn't mean that I won't, and it doesn't mean that I'm a failure. Just because I write a bad song or a bad story or make a bad video doesn't mean that I'm a bad writer or vlogger, and especially not a bad person. And that is a very freeing idea.